Days of Our Lives spoilers update for the week of August 11th and 15 reveals that EJ DiMera's next hypnosis session may offer another hint, while Sophia Choi spills to Ariana Ari Horton. Gwen von Leuschner and Sarah Horton Kyriakis will also face off, so here's what Days viewers can look forward to. After Belle Black puts EJ on full blast again, she'll have some words of wisdom for Tate Black and Holly Jonas. Belle is feeling rather pessimistic about love, but she may give Holly and Tate some tips so that they don't make the same mistakes she's made. Since this trial is taking a toll on all parties involved, Days spoilers say Belle and Johnny DiMera will do some commiserating later. As for EJ, he'll have another hypnosis session with Marlena Evans and hold out hope that he can get a clear picture of who actually shot him. The last time Marlena hypnotized EJ, he remembered seeing someone with the gun, though he couldn't make out their face. EJ also recalled asking, "Why don't you give that to me?" That seems like the kind of thing you'd say to a child like Rachel Black, so she may be the one who fired at EJ that night. Rachel doesn't recall doing it, but she may have shoved down that memory if it was too horrific. Whatever the case, EJ's next hypnosis session might offer another clue that points in Rachel's direction. While Rachel's having a meltdown across town, Belle will quiz Marlena about her theory of who shot EJ. We'll see if Marlena indeed thinks it's Rachel and what she plans to do about her suspicions, especially since EJ will subpoena her to testify in court. EJ will continue to play dirty when it comes to those on the witness stand, and once he crosses the line with Chanel Dupree DiMera, Johnny will fire his father as his attorney. Other Days spoilers say Gwen will mark her territory when it comes to Xander Kyriakis, now that he's legally separated from Sarah. However, Sarah may argue that Gwen's got competition since Gabby Hernandez was all over Xander at the bistro. While Sarah and Gwen face off, Kat Green will repay Chad DiMera for his kindness. There's a good chance Chad will get sick after being exposed to Kat while caring for her recently. Dual spoilers suggest that'll lead to Kat taking care of Chad next, so they'll grow even closer. As the trial continues, Leo Stark will learn more about the juror roommate who's been assigned to him. It'll be a man named Adam, and it turns out he'll be a body and soul superfan who remembers Leo's work on the show. Over with Sophia, she'll talk to Ari about things not working out like she planned following the birth of her baby. Sophia won't share anything that could tip Ari off to her adoption deception, but she'll still get some support. Although Ari will push Sophia to move on from Tate, Sophia will find it hard to let go. That's especially true since Sophia will share a close moment with Tate, who'll be heartbroken over the adoptive parents rejecting his visit with the baby. Of course, Tate won't realize there are no adoptive parents at all, and that Melinda Trask is the one behind the letter response. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Melinda and Sophia will continue to weave a tangled web. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the next 2 weeks, August 11th to August 20th, reveal that Leo Stark will deal with some juror roommate drama while Rachel Black throws a tantrum. Marlena Evans will also form a disturbing theory, so let's talk about what's coming up in Salem. During the week of August 11 to 15, Brady Black and Kristen DiMera will have more reasons to worry about Rachel, who will eventually have a meltdown that catches Kristen off guard. Across town, Days spoilers say EJ DiMera will have another hypnosis session with Marlena Evans as he tries to nail down what really happened the night he was shot. Marlena will apparently pick up on some interesting clues, so a suspect will rise to the top of her list. Belle Black will eventually figure out that Marlena knows who pulled the trigger on EJ, so she'll question her mom about it. That'll lead to Marlena opening up about the theory she's developed. It could be a rather disturbing one if Marlena believes Rachel shot EJ and then blocked out the memory. Of course, Days spoilers say there could be a problem since EJ will subpoena Marlena to testify and put her in a tight spot. In the meantime, Chanel Dupree DiMera will be willing to go down for Johnny DiMera if need be, but that isn't what he'll want. Instead, Johnny will push EJ to make things easy for Chanel in court, but EJ apparently won't listen. It looks like EJ will badger the witness and make Chanel look guilty in the courtroom, so Johnny will fire his own father. Other Days, spoilers say, Belle will give Tate Black and Holly Jonas some guidance, so it sounds like they'll get a lesson about the challenges of love. Sophia Choi will also talk to Ariana ET, Ari Horton, about nothing turning out the way she imagined. We'll see Sophia struggle with more baby drama and jealousy over Tate's reunion with Holly. Dual spoilers say Sophia will ultimately try to pull Tate closer again, but she'll still be keeping some big secrets. Thanks to Melinda Trask, Tate seems poised to get a letter saying he can't see his baby. Assuming she sticks to the plan, Melinda may write back posing as the adoptive couple and deny Tate's request. As for Leo, he'll spend some time getting better acquainted with Adam, his juror roommate for this trial. Adam will be a giant body and soul fan, so he may gush over Leo's old stories and flatter him a bit. Perhaps there could be trouble if Adam takes the attention too far. It looks like Javi Hernandez will get involved at some point, so he might witness a crazed fan moment. During the week of August 1822, Marlena may face some tough questions on the witness stand, so protecting Rachel could get tricky if she's indeed EJ's shooter. As for Sophia, she'll ignore Ari's advice to let go of her feelings for Tate and move on. Sophia will try to sabotage Tate and Holly's relationship instead, so she'll make an even bigger mess for herself. Meanwhile, Gabby Hernandez will shift her attention from Xander Kyriakis to Philip Kyriakis, so she'll get flirty and manipulative as she seeks Titan dirt. One thing will lead to another, and put Gabby in bed with Philip eventually, so they'll both have a lot to process in the aftermath. Days of Our Lives spoilers say the next 2 weeks will bring some stunning news and sizzling moments, so stay tuned for updates on all the curveballs. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that we have to ask, was Belle Black right to break up with EJ Demera over his betrayal? Was this a necessary split or a major overreaction? In Duel's August 8th episode, EJ's latest move in the courtroom backfired spectacularly. The judge saw through EJ's theatrics and refused to grant a mistrial based on his personal relationship with Belle. Since Belle was blindsided over EJ getting Johnny Demera to expose that on the stand, she broke up with him on the spot. It was a wake-up call about the kind of person EJ was, so Belle decided she'd never forgive him for this. In fact, Belle went as far as declaring that EJ was dead to her. It's clear that Belle's done with EJ, so she wishes she'd listened when Marlena Evans tried to warn her away from him. Of course, many fans can see why Belle would feel rather humiliated over how it all went down. To make matters worse, Belle and EJ just had a sizzling session at the Salem Inn, so Belle had to be feeling pretty used when their romance was outed in court. EJ should have given Belle a heads up on his plans. Or better yet, he should have avoided that pointless tactic altogether. At the same time, Days spoilers suggest Belle may be overreacting a bit under the circumstances. Considering all the crimes and other horrible things EJ's done over the years, this feels like a pretty lackluster reason to break up. Plus, Belle has to know that EJ is doing everything he can to keep Johnny out of prison. We have to believe that if Claire Brady were in Johnny's shoes, Belle would be willing to pull a few dirty tricks too. Maybe Belle should cut EJ a little slack under the circumstances, since this all boils down to a parent's love for his child. EJ didn't set out to hurt Belle and only pushed for the mistrial for Johnny's sake. However, Belle and EJ arguably weren't exactly an amazing days couple anyway. Perhaps it's for the best that EJ and Belle broke up, even if the reason why seems rather silly. Days of Our Lives spoilers say Belle and EJ have more fierce moments ahead in court, so we'll bring you updates on any other legal news along the way. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Holly Jonas may play detective to reunite Tate Black with his baby boy. Will Holly be the reason Sophia Choi's plan falls apart in the end? Now that Holly and Tate's romance is back on track, Duel fans know she's seeing his pain firsthand. Tate's definitely having a hard time since he didn't get any kind of closure regarding the adoption and the baby girl he believes Sophia had. Holly also remembers the nightmare Nicole Walker endured when her own child was kept from her. The circumstances were different since Nicole was led to believe her newborn was deceased, but it was still a situation involving some baby lies. Now Holly may start to suspect there's some new baby deception going on in Salem. Days spoilers suggest Holly seems like the perfect person to develop a hunch and play detective when she realizes something isn't right. Sophia used to be Holly's best friend, but Tate drama came between them and destroyed that bond. Holly is trying to be understanding about Sophia's perspective, but her loyalty is to Tate first and foremost. Day's spoilers say Sophia and Holly's relationship will take more hits in the coming months, especially after Sophia resorts to some romantic sabotage to try and win Tate back. Sophia's plot may blow up in her face and leave Holly wondering what else she's hiding. Of course, Holly also lives under the same roof as Sarah Horton Kyriakis, who knows the truth about Tesoro. Sarah offered to be there for Sophia if she ever needed to talk, so there may come a time when Sophia takes her up on it. That could bring the potential for Holly to do some eavesdropping and learn more than was meant for her ears. Regardless, Holly will become increasingly tangled up in Sophia's latest day's storyline. There'll be opportunities for Holly to put some clues together and eventually figure out that Sophia had a baby boy instead of a girl. From there, Holly may unravel the whole mystery and become the one to reunite Tate with his son down the road. Days of Our Lives spoilers say some drama's brewing for Holly no matter what, so stick with us for updates on any shocking baby news she might uncover. Chad breaks away from Kat's kiss as she lies on the couch, groggy from her fever. She recoils, worried she'll get him sick, and passes out again. Chad calls Kayla, who sends over antibiotics, and then calls Julie to relay he's not coming home so as not to potentially get anyone else sick. After Chad tends to her, Kat's fever breaks, and she wakes up feeling better. Mortification sets in, though, as she wonders if she kissed him. Chad says it must have been a dream. A ranting Belle comes home with Marlena. Happy Sammy's not there to gloat over the situation. Marlena declares Sammy wouldn't do that because she knows what it's like to feel betrayed by EJ. Belle is pretty sure that wouldn't stop her. Mother and daughter dread facing EJ tomorrow, in a hypnosis session for the former and court for the latter. After Marlena leaves for a walk, Belle tries to work, but she grows angry and marches out of the penthouse. Replaying getting dumped by Belle in his mind at home, EJ pounds on the wet bar's ice bucket and winces in pain. After a glib interaction with Gwen, EJ gets a visit from his former lover, who yells at him again for what he did in court. EJ insists he only did it to save Johnny. Belle knows he also hates to lose, even to the woman he claims to love. She compares him to Stefano. No, wait, he's worse than Stefano because EJ pretends to have a soul. EJ genuinely apologizes for hurting her because he does love her with his whole heart. But Belle isn't feeling it. After the trial is over, she never wants to see or hear from him again. After Sarah makes a show of kissing Brady at the bistro, Brady blocks Xander's attempted punch. Gabby drags Xander out, and Sarah apologizes to an understanding Brady. Over breadsticks and salads, Sarah grows self-conscious over other patrons staring at them. She asks for a rain check on dinner, promising not to surprise kiss Brady again. In the square, Gabby lashes out at Xander for his drunken behavior and goes back to the bistro to pay the bill. Upon her return, she unsurprisingly reports that neither of them is welcome back anytime soon. When Sarah and Brady leave the restaurant, a contrite Xander apologizes, but neither is receptive. He insists nothing like this will happen again. On that, Sarah can agree. Once alone, Sarah tells Xander how sick she is of his empty promises and orders him to start his anger management session with Marlena tomorrow, or their custody agreement is null and void. Said doctor coincidentally appears while on her stroll and leads Xander to her office to talk. Sarah's night goes from bad to worse when Gwen approaches to needle her about her failing marriage. Sarah assures her she's moving on from that chaos, to which Gwen replies, Xander's moving on too, with her. Thrown, Sarah informs her that he and Gabby kissed. No matter, what Gwen and Xander have is real. They picked back up like Sarah never even existed. Sarah doesn't believe her, so Gwen smugly suggests she consult with Leo, who saw them go into the Salem Inn together. Gabby and Brady wander to the pub, where Brady warns her to stay clear of Xander. Over milkshakes and fries, Gabby gets Brady to delve into his feelings about working for Xander at Basic Black. Brady wanted to keep his father's legacy alive with the company, but he feels like he's letting John down. He's made so many mistakes over the years. Gabby counters that Brady is honest, decent, and loyal, just like John, who wasn't perfect. John's hero status is a lot to live up to, but it isn't his job. Maybe it should be, Brady says. This town needs someone to step up in John's absence. Maybe that starts with Titan DiMera. Gabby thinks he should stick it out a little bit longer since Xander is going to anger management counseling. Brady has no faith in that turning Xander's psyche around. You never know, Gabby coyly says, sipping her shake. With coffees in her office, Marlena gets Xander to admit he's scared of his temper. He begs her for help so he doesn't lose his daughter. But why would she even do that, considering what he did to her? Marlena points out her many conflicts of interest she's taken on other patients who have done her harm. He just needs to be willing to be open and vulnerable for this to work. Xander assures her he is. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Melinda Trask is once again helping out with an adoption scheme. It's not the first time that the lawyer has been caught up in something like this. So, once the truth comes out, she could actually face prison time. Keep reading and let's talk about what might happen next in the Peacock soap opera. Fans know that Sophia Choi was desperate to find an adoptive family for her baby. The arrangement with Johnny DiMera and Chanel Dupree DiMera didn't work out. Sophia was worried that once Tate saw their baby, he wouldn't be able to let the child go. So, Sophia and Melinda went to Chicago, with it still appearing as the teenager was pregnant. Then, the teen claimed that she gave birth in Chicago, and the adoptive parents wanted to take her home right away. Tate and the rest of his family was pretty livid over Sophia handing the baby off to strangers without letting them say goodbye first. Then, Tate wanted to send the baby a gift, along with a letter to the adoptive parents asking for one visit. Melinda's solution was to use a post office box in Chicago. However, the problems will continue. Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal that Sophia and Tate's baby is really being fostered in Salem. Javi Hernandez and Leo Stark are the baby's foster parents. Nobody suspects that Tesoro is Sophia and Tate's baby. For one thing, Sophia claims she had a girl when the child was actually a boy. Everyone also believes that Sophia was still pregnant when Tesoro was left in the fire station's safe haven box. Despite all of that, Tate couldn't help but feel drawn to Tesoro. When Leo allowed the high school graduate to hold the baby, Tesoro stopped crying and bonded with Tate. The young man could find himself continuing to be drawn to Tesoro. However, Javi and Leo are only supposed to have him for another week, so time is running out. Melinda has done adoption schemes in the past. There was Sloane Peterson stealing Eric Brady Nicole Walker's baby. Melinda didn't just help cover up the crime, but allowed Ericole to believe their baby was dead. Melinda didn't seem to suffer any consequences for that crime. Will she have to pay for playing games with Tate's son? Could the former district attorney actually serve prison time? Days of Our Lives spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for the week of August 11th, 2025. It shows Sophia Choi finding someone to confide in. Gwen Rischek von Leuschner gets under Sarah Horton Kiriakis' skin. Plus, Rachel Black freaks out. Keep reading and let's discuss what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's begin with Sophia, who is keeping a huge secret from everyone. The only person she's had to talk to about this is Melinda Trask. The teenager did make a confession to Sarah, but that's not really the same as talking it out with a friend. Ari Horton will listen to Sophia's problems, but how does she keep that kind of secret from Tate Black? Not only is Tate family to Ari, but he also saved her life recently. Over with Sarah, she has an unfortunate run-in with Gwen. The doctor is in no mood, especially since she just had that awkward confrontation with Xander Cook Kiriakis and Gabby Hernandez. Gwen won't be able to resist getting under Sarah's skin, though. She will claim to the doctor, "But Xander is moving on. With me!" Of course, fans know that's not true. Gwen tried, but once again, Xander rejected her. However, the woman will say anything to get under her rival's skin. This new version of Gwen is quite nasty and bitter, isn't she? Like, much more than usual. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of August 11th reveal that the preview clip also features Rachel. Belle questions the little girl on the stand at Johnny DiMera's trial. Later, Rachel freaks out over Johnny's fate as Brady Black and Kristen DiMera try to comfort her. Later, Belle stops by the mansion. EJ reminds her of those harsh courtroom words. Belle has not changed her mind and never wants to see EJ again. Once Belle leaves, EJ smashes things to the floor. There is also a shot of Kristen in the witness box as EJ prepares to question her. Later, Johnny fires his father. Of course, EJ will claim that he was doing whatever was necessary to free Johnny. However, the young man thinks his father, lawyer, went way too far. Again. Meanwhile, Marlena Evans gets questioned. Belle suspects that her mother knows who shot Johnny. Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, August 12th, 2025. It's the day Brady and Kristen, and especially Rachel, have been dreading. Rachel has to testify at Johnny's trial, and she is terrified that what she says will send her cousin to jail. She loves Johnny and believes that he did not shoot her Uncle EJ, even though she saw him with a gun that fateful night. Brady and Kristen are there for their daughter before she has to walk into court. They do their best to calm her down, but she is a complete mess as they hope she doesn't fall apart. Meanwhile, Marlena hypnotizes EJ once again in the hopes that he will remember more about the night he was shot. Their last hypnosis session did not bring them any new information, but Marlena said they could try again. Will EJ be able to see the shooter's face this time and identify his shooter before Rachel is called to the witness stand? Whatever happens, Marlena seems unnerved by the session, which seems to have more of an effect on her than it does on EJ. Belle has hated every single moment of being forced to prosecute her own nephew, but she has been determined to be a professional and do her job right. The trial has taken its toll on her, and it has also ruined her relationship with EJ. Of course, EJ had a large hand in making that happen with his little mistrial stunt. Johnny knows he is innocent, but his father is having a hard time proving it, and his aunt is having an easy time disproving it. Johnny fears for his freedom and his life, as he knows he is in more trouble than he ever imagined. When Belle and Johnny arrive for another day in court, they find themselves alone in the courtroom. The love between them is apparent, as Johnny lets Belle know that he understands she has to do her job. Belle is starting to wonder if she can continue like this much longer. It seems like it's been forever since we've seen Justin on Days of Our Lives, although he's been mentioned quite a bit. The Kyriakis lawyer is always the go-to guy when someone in the family needs legal representation, but his last really major story was when he learned Alex wasn't his son. He would later find out that Alex really was his son, and not the heir to Victor's fortune, as everyone believed. Dividing his time between days, playing Ned on General Hospital, and performing with the Day Players Band, Wally Kurth still has time to enjoy himself. In a recent Instagram post, Kurth wrote, "Last Sunday, we saw the spectacular production of the LA Philharmonic Orchestra's Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl. The entire cast was amazing. When I was 12 years old, I listened to the album over and over again, and specifically the song you hear in the video, Everything's All Right. I want to share this with all of you. Enjoy." Accompanying that text was a photo of him, his wife Deborah, and their friend Megan Sugru at the play. After that was a video, as Kurth described, that showed actress Philippa Sue in the play singing Everything's All Right. The fans loved both his post and the play, which starred Wicked's Cynthia Erivo and American Idol Adam Lambert. One fan who had seen it responded, "It was amazing." Sugru responded, "One of the best things I have ever seen. Love you both, and so grateful to have experienced this together." With Deborah replying with a heart emoji. A fan who also had fond memories of the play eagerly commented, "I wish I could have seen that. Funny! Years ago at the Music Circus in Sacramento, I saw the musical, and Anthony Geary, ex-Luke, played Jesus back in the 80s. One fan who could relate to Kurth's experience lovingly wrote, "Me too. I loved that album. I got it for Christmas and have seen the movie and play several times. It's funny. You are the only person that I have ever heard listening to it over and over like I did. Don't you know everything's all right? Everything's fine." And another of Kurth's followers wrote, "Glad you had a great time, Wally. The soulless walk the earth, especially in Salem. Omni in Soul, in the Monday, August 11th episode of Days of Our Lives." Belle called EJ soulless. Gwen was pretty soulless as she threw her kissing session with Xander in Sarah's face. Xander could be considered soulless when he's angry, but when it comes right down to it, he isn't. Instead, he's a hot mess of conflicting emotions. It was pretty satisfying to see Belle go over to the DiMera mansion and rip into EJ like she couldn't in the courtroom. She probably had to get her bearings after experiencing professional humiliation. The best part of the heated conversation happened when she compared EJ to Stefano in front of the man's portrait. She told her ex-lover that he does the same thing that Stefano did. He does something horrible and makes the excuse that he did it to protect this person or that person he loves, as if that's supposed to excuse his actions. It doesn't. She told him that he pretended to have a soul, and she even played the pawn card. Stefano did that with John, and EJ just did that to Belle. Using that word was deliberate and laced with so much history. Belle will not let EJ get away with treating her like that. So if he ever does anything else untoward or shady during the trial again, she will file a complaint with the state bar. Meanwhile, an inebriated Xander continued to do himself no favors. Gabby and Xander were banned from the bistro. Later, in HTS, they encountered Brady and Sarah again, where things went from bad to worse. After Brady and Gabby made their excuses and went off together, Sarah told Xander that if he doesn't start anger management therapy tomorrow, she will have to revisit their custody agreement. Xander agreed to see Marlena, but so far, he hadn't even called her to set up an appointment. Thankfully, Marlena entered the conversation and agreed to see Xander, despite everything he's ever done to her and her family. In her office, he admitted that his anger is a big issue for him and that he loses control of it. But he also asked for Marlena's help. The doctor warned him, however, that he would need to be vulnerable for this to work. Gabby and Brady actually had a nice conversation over fries and shakes at the pub. They talked about the Titan DiMera of it all, as well as Basic Black and Gabi Chic. Brady is putting pressure on himself to live up to John's legacy. After all, the man had saved the world once or twice. He told Gabby that he wanted to be that person who steps up for the community. Is Brady just about ready to step up again at Titan? Finally, how does Gwen just walk around Salem making baseless accusations and exaggerations? Today, she told Sarah that she and Sarah picked up where they left off, and that it's like Sarah never even existed. That was just needlessly cruel. Days of Our Lives spoilers photos for the August 12th, 25 episode tease the calm before the courtroom chaos. It's going to be a chill day for Geo, but a hectic day for everyone at Johnny's trial. Leo and Javi have a chill day at home before Leo heads to court. Rachel arrives to testify at Johnny's trial and receives support from Kristen and Brady. When Johnny walks into the courtroom and sees Belle, is she there as the DA, or has she been forced to recuse herself after EJ's latest move? Days of Our Lives spoilers for Tuesday, August 12th find Belle and EJ retreating to their separate corners as both deal with the fallout from their courtroom bombshells. After the way they behaved in court, and after the way they reacted to that out of court, Belle and EJ aren't sure where either should go from here. EJ turns to Marlena, not as Belle's mother, but as a psychiatrist who might be able to help him remember who really shot him. Meanwhile, Belle and Johnny commiserate over how big of a bummer a murder trial is when all the participants are members of the same family. You'd think some laws would have been passed against that or something. Rachel continues to be an awful, spoiled, selfish, and slightly homicidal child. But we can't really blame her. Her parents have given her the impression that she is the most important person in the world, and her happiness should be everyone's first priority. As a result, Rachel is unhappy when that isn't the case. So Kristen and Brady fret about their darling, which, at least, makes her a tiny bit happier. Amy is also worried about her daughter. She knows that Sophia has been through a massive trauma. Amy is trying to connect with Sophia, who is already having her doubts. Will she come clean to her mom finally? Not if Melinda has anything to say about it. Melinda is seeing too much of herself in Sophia. Can Sophia trust the advice she gives her? Will Melinda take matters into her own hands? Days of Our Lives Weekly Prediction Edition talks about Kristen DiMera confessing to save Rachel Black and other goings-on in Salem. I've got predictions for Kristen and Rachel, for Gwen Rizchek and Xander Cook, for Chad DiMera and Kat Green. for Marlena Evans and Belle Black, and also for Sophia Choi and Tate Black. Let's dive right in. Our very first prediction, Kristen confesses to save Rachel. So, in recent episodes, Johnny Dimera's trial is rocking on, and little Rachel has been bracing herself to get on the stand and testify. She is understandably nervous. Brady Black tried to ease her mind last week with a fun-filled daddy and daughter movie date, but she's still on edge. This week, Rachel takes the stand, and Kristen comforts her daughter when Rachel worries that Johnny will go to prison because of her. Tuesday spoilers say Brady and Kristen worry about Rachel. And in Thursday Day's spoilers, Rachel is acting out in a way that shocks Kristen. Also this week, Rachel and Kristen run into Dr. Sarah Horton outside of the pub. Our leaker told us months ago, back in February, that Rachel shot EJ Dimera and that Kristen is going to be heading to Statesville to take the rap for her wicked little kid. Kristen is on the stand this week, and if she knows by then that Rachel shot EJ, Kristen might confess if she thinks it's all going to come out. Rachel also takes the stand this week. She saw Johnny holding a gun on EJ, but didn't see Johnny firing. I do wonder if Rachel's mind has blocked out that she shot her uncle EJ after the confrontation. The shooting may have been an accident, or something else entirely, because Susan Banks is all woo-woo about Stefano Dimera back from the dead. So, who's to say that Rachel wasn't possessed when she shot him? I mean, it's Salem. Kristen will do anything to protect her only child. She may sacrifice her freedom to protect her daughter and keep Rachel out of juvie. Brady's been busy trying to help Rachel during this time. And of course, Brady would put his life on the line for his kids. But in this case, there's not much he can do. But if Kristen's willing to go down for what Rachel did, I'm sure EJ will let her do it. Our second prediction, Xander shuts Gwen down hard. So recently on Days, Gwen and Xander had a hot moment when they were drunk, and Gwen nearly got Xander back into her bed at the Salem Inn. But at the last minute, he zipped it up and walked out. Since then, he's made it perfectly clear he does not want to get back into any kind of thing, much less a relationship with Gwen. This week's spoilers tell us that Sarah's jaw drops as Gwen tells her that Xander is moving on with her. And then Thursday Day's spoilers have Xander on the defensive while talking with Sarah. Obviously, Gwen would get back with Xander in a heartbeat, but he shut Gwen down once already. Unless Xander changes his mind and really does want Gwen back in his life, he needs to shut her down harder and do it with all caps this time, so she gets the message loud and clear. Xander and Sarah still love each other, even though they are legally separated. So when Xander hears from Sarah what Gwen was saying, he may lay into her for lying to Sarah, saying he's moving on with her. Of course, this might be really hard for Sarah to hear about Xander right after seeing him kiss Gabby Hernandez. She may think, oh wow, he's just, doing everybody in town. Our leaker said that Xander and Sarah are going to find their way back to each other again, but it's going to take some time. It's going to be a rough road, and it's going to be closer to the holidays. Our third prediction, Chad gets strep, and Kat returns the favor. On Days of Our Lives last week, Kat and Chad were stuck overnight in an elevator, and they almost kissed. Later, Chad bumped into Kat at the hospital. He found out Felicity Green has strep throat, and then Chad took Kat home and noticed her fever and symptoms. Looks like she has got it as well. Chad was really sweet, and he took care of Kat, which turned into a passionate kiss, which isn't what you should be doing with someone who's infected. She's worried Chad's going to catch it. Looks like it's too late. Spoilers for Monday have Chad continuing to take care of sick Kat, but spoilers for Wednesday say Chad needs her to return the favor, and Kat is there for Chad. Kat and Chad have been getting closer over the past few months. They could be in a relationship by this fall. Chad told Julie Williams to mind her business when it comes to Kat. It looks like he has forgiven her for posing as Abigail Devereaux, and he thinks Julie should let it go too. But I don't think Julie's going to like Kat helping Chad through an illness. He may quarantine at Kat's apartment to keep the kids and Julie and JJ Devereaux from catching the nasty bug. We'll see. Once Julie hears that Kat had strep first, she may figure out pretty quickly that Chad was up close and personal with Kat for him to get infected. Our fourth prediction, Marlena lies to Belle. We saw Belle encouraging EJ to get hypnosis, but he couldn't see the person's face no matter how hard Marlena tried to help him. Since then, he got even more desperate and he threw Belle under the bus trying to get a mistrial. Will Marlena find out more about the shooter and lie to Belle? Spoilers for Monday say Belle talks to Marlena, probably about Belle telling EJ she hates him. Marlena gets a new patient, and I wonder if it's little Rachel. Maybe Brady wants Marlena to use hypnosis to calm Rachel's nerves before court. Tuesday spoilers confirm that EJ goes back for another hypno session. Whatever comes out of it must be big, because spoilers for Wednesday have EJ hitting Marlena with a subpoena for her to testify in Johnny's case. Thursday spoilers see Marlena offering Belle a new theory. In the promo, Belle's asking Marlena if she knows who shot EJ, but I just wonder if Marlena is going to be honest. Obviously, Belle's mad at EJ, but if she finds out Rachel shot him, she's going to bring it to court. Marlena may be hoping reasonable doubt will save Johnny, and if she finds out Rachel's the shooter, she may try and cover for her. Marlena already knows Rachel probably needs therapy, but going to juvie isn't the best way. Marlena has had a lot of loss in her life already. I wonder if Marlena figures out Rachel shot EJ and tells Kristen the truth, and that's why she confesses on the stand. Marlena may lie to Belle, but I doubt she would lie on the witness stand. Our fifth and final prediction: Sophia's plotting to steal Tate. Sophia right now is stressing because of all of her lies about the baby and the adoption. On Wednesday, she sees Holly Jonas and Tate kissing and tells Ariana Horton that nothing's turning out the way that she thought. Friday spoilers have Sophia trying to comfort Tate. In the summer promo, Sophia is there when Holly's asleep. She's kind of adjusting her clothes and showing off her bra and taking some naughty pictures while Holly's sleeping. Sophia made a massive mistake by lying to Tate about their son. In the past, we have seen Sophia play dirty games to try and get Holly away from Tate. I doubt Sophia listens to Ari when she tells her just forget him.